show me who I am and who I'm not. You know what I mean? It was like,
hey guys, and welcome to the Uncharted. So today we're doing something completely different, unscripted, not what I normally do. And I want to introduce you to somebody that is near and dear to my heart, a gorgeous soul sister. She is a soul coach. She is just an amazing, amazing soul. And I can't wait for you guys to get to know a little bit more about her. Thanks for being on, Liz.
thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. Hey
So,
guys.
so as always, I say this in every episode. I let spirit guide the episode wherever they feel the conversation should go. I just let it go that way. And it is what it is. So I know we kind of spoke about twin flames. Can we talk about that again?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
the reason why I'm saying is I believe in it, but I also don't believe in it because I feel that so much of society is into labeling everything and like, oh, this must be my twin flame, this must be my soulmate, this must be a karmic relationship. But it's like, dude, just look at what it actually is instead of like just putting labels on it. But that's just my take on it. Like, from your point, what is a twin flame actual relationship? What does it feel like, look like? What is it?
So from my personal experience and my journey, I will definitely say even a twin flame doesn't believe what's happening. They do not, I mean, they question it. I questioned it the entire time. Is this real? Is this really happening? Am I going crazy? Am I making this up? But I would say for, my journey with my twin flame, and I don't know if it's done, if it's just getting started, but it started over 5 years ago, about 5.5 years ago. And I met literally right from the instant of us talking online, the first time he messaged me, immediately I could feel his energy. Like I knew it was him messaging me before I looked to see who it was that messaged me. Okay. Now at the time I wasn't aware that I wasn't aware, I knew who it was, but it was later as I started looking back that I started to realize I could feel him immediately and things started to change in my life immediately. I started getting triggered immediately. So over the course of the 5 years, and it didn't take me, quite 5 years to figure it out, but you realize, whether it's twin flame or it's just a soulmate or whatever it is. But it's different than a soulmate because this person was literally a part of my ascension. This person came here to show me who I am and who I'm not. You know what I mean? It was like, they were like my mirror reflecting back to me everything that I wasn't, all my programming, all my beliefs, all of my shadow, so that I had to work with it. And it wasn't like I was reading a book and I was this and that. It was like one experience after another. And it was so intense. The energy was so intense that, you couldn't get away from it because the truth is that it's so intense and so painful that you pray, like, please let this go away. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, just, I don't want to think about them anymore. Like, get rid of them.
So it's not somebody you're going to say you want to be in a relationship with. It's kind of like, no, I don't want to be in like a romantic relationship with that person.
Oh no, I love this person more than, as a matter of fact, I didn't even know what love is until my heart started opening, and it started opening from being broke open through the pain caused by, and it wasn't like abuse. And what I mean by that is this person reflected all the pain that had been held within me for who knows how long. And as that pain started to be released and I started to see those layers of illusions, old beliefs, things, the old habits, I don't want to even say habits, it's the old programming, the unconscious programming. When that starts to come up to be released and you start to love yourself, you start to love those aspects, your heart starts opening. And I think that was, a part of that I realized, and this was like 2.5 years later where I was like, oh my God, I love this person. Like, I love this person but it was more that I actually it's like when your heart is open, love is totally different than anything that we've ever thought. It's not attachment. It's not need. It's just,
It's
wow,
pure.
it's powerful. It's really powerful. And then, that opened my journey to really start loving myself. It wasn't about that person anymore. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, it's starting to realize where I'm not loving myself. Which was a whole nother journey, and still on that journey. But so I would say it's about awakening.
Awakening. Okay. It's a nice way of like putting it. So like a twin flame is more awakening than actually being in a relationship. Because a lot of people are like,
Yes.
oh, I'm in a relationship with my twin flame. And I'm like, what? Like, how does that work?
Yeah,
Because,
I've actually never, and I can't say that it's going to be what's going to be for me is going to
mm-hmm.
be the same for everybody, because
Yeah.
we're all unique. But that wasn't my case.
Yeah, because as a lot of things that I've seen that in mainstream, that like a twin flame is always like one person is in the relationship, one person is out. It's always like a push and pull. And I was like, and that just didn't sit right with me. Like, why would it be this push and pull in a relationship and not a growth kind of a thing? If that makes sense.
Right. And for me, it was definite growth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about him. I don't know what his experience was. I don't know if he's having an experience now. I've actually kind of there came a time where I don't really feel him anymore.
Okay.
But I don't have the connection that I had with my soul and my higher self that I did when I had that connection with him either. And I actually asked I told my guides
mm-hmm.
one day, I said, I just want him to go away. Like, I just want to be done with this. I want him to go away. And my higher self said, even if that means that you go away too. And I knew they meant my soul, like that aspect of it, because I found me,
mm-hmm.
my soul, my higher self, through him. Through going out to him, I opened up and found me. So, and that's kind of what happened. So I can't tell what the future is going to hold. But the connection that I had with my higher self and my, with my ancestors and everything, it's not as powerful since then.
Okay. I'm gonna, because I'm being asked to do this, I'm gonna change tack. And the question is, how did your spiritual journey start? Because for me, it's kind of difficult to answer this to people because mine started when I was about 2 years old. So I've always had that ability. But for some people, they new to this, or they're finding out, or things are clicking. How did your journey start?
Well, I would say it's the same. I think,
mm-hmm.
It's more, when did you actually become aware that you were on a journey? Because I was, I knew things as a kid. I felt everything as a kid. Yeah. Was I aware that I was feeling everybody else's stuff when I was a kid? No, I thought it was me. I think that's, the thing. A lot of times we have these abilities, and because mm-hmm. it's so natural to us, we don't realize it's an ability because we're doing it all the time. Like, doesn't everybody do that?
Exactly.
So I would say, when I became aware that I was really on a journey, and actually becoming aware, mm-hmm. was when my twin flame came in, and I was doing all kinds of other stuff and being led by my soul and being shown all kinds of things for, well over 10 years. But when I met him, that was when it became real experience. And where it's like, I think I'm going crazy right now, but mm-hmm. you're not going crazy, because it was like, I think I'm going, because your world that you believed and you thought was actually real, what we're taught, the human,
completely shatters,
starts crumbling. And then, fortunately my higher self explained to me what was happening, and, but it was all through experience. So
crazy. You know, I just, this is kind of weird because for me, it's interesting to see how people want to know, like, what was the starting block. It's as if they want this little, okay, this is the step I'm at. Then if everybody else had the same step, then I can go from there. And that's kind of just so weird because, but I don't know if you've gotten that, but I've got asked that so many times. People ask me, where did you start? What was your definitive draw the line in the sand moment where you're like, yes, I'm intuitive, I'm spiritual, I'm now, this is me. And I'm like, I kind of can't draw that line in the sand. There is never this
Right.
definitive line.
Right. Well, because, I agree, because you look back over your life and you're like, I mean, I remember specific incidents as a kid, like having conversations with myself. I know that what I think creates my life, and I'm talking at 6, 7 years old,
Mm-hmm.
but do I think what I don't want to happen and then what I want to happen happens, or do I think what I want to happen and then it happens? And I'm like, dang it, I don't remember what I did last time. So then, or even thinking of a movie and then it would be on when I, just different things. But then, I think all of that's in layers too, right? And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing, what does it matter? Because we're all intuitive. We're
Thank
all
you.
spirit. We're all spirit. None of us are better than anybody. And none of us are more spiritual or more, we're all just where we are on our journey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all here we're meant to be where we are. We are here to share who we are. So, I don't think it matters. I think we spend a lot of time in general, people, talking about shit that doesn't matter.
I was going to say amen to that one. We talk a lot of shit that doesn't matter. And I honestly think it's just to layer over the mask so you don't actually have to think about anything else. Because the more you talk
Right.
about other shit and like, oh, this and this and this, you don't actually have to look at yourself because it's like
Right.
there and it's not. And yeah. And
Right. And it's, go ahead.
and I was like, but it can actually be scary to actually look inwards and go, oh shit, is this really what's going on down there? And
It's the only way you can wake up. And that was what happened with my twin flame. It was like my light body, I mean, literally like in an instant, my light body was activated. I could feel everything and there was no running away from me. And when I say me, I mean my human.
yeah.
And what I mean by human is my ego. Because, okay, so I'm feeling like they're telling me to share this with you. So I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come in, we are our soul aspect. We're our spirit. We're our higher self. We're that being.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and this is what they showed to me when I was on my journey. And then we start to have human beings, our family, society, teachers, whoever, and worst of all, ourselves, because nobody can really program us but us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're told, this is the way things work. This is how things work in the world. These are the things we do. Maybe it's, we have an incident and we feel like we're not lovable or we're not good enough or we're not as good as that person. Now we're in the comparison. Mm-hmm. So when we start to be taught and believe, the biggest thing is believe these things, we start separating from ourself, our true self. And now we have separation. Now we have darkness covering the light. We've become cloudy. Now we've got another belief. Now we have more separation. Now we have another belief, and now we have more separation. And with those beliefs, we're going to attract more because we believe this thing. And so we're telling the universe, this is what I believe. Show me more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and what they showed it to me like this, where it's like, and this was when I was purging a lot, meaning that a lot of really intense, heavy emotions coming up. It is scary. Like awakening is scary. It's painful.
Yeah,
because you're getting rid of all that shadow. You're getting rid of all the darkness. So what they showed me, we're like this. You basically got this, all of this filled up. And here's you, just this little point. I don't know why they showed it to me this way, but they did.
It's interesting.
So it's almost like it spreads out. It's like, but maybe it just spreads out around us. Either way, right? We're going into specifics that don't matter.
Yeah.
They're like, like the human thinks too much. The point is,
yeah.
The point is now you're separating from yourself and you have all this shit that's all unconscious. Because if we knew we believed, like if I knew I had the belief that I'm a piece of shit and I'm never going to amount to anything, I wouldn't have that belief, right? I'd be like, no way. Like, I don't believe that. You have to go through all kinds of layers to realize the real deep beliefs that you created about yourself. And who knows? Maybe they're from another life. Maybe they're from this life. But my point is, all this is unconscious. So when we have a negative emotion, when we feel bad, and a lot of times the human will blame another person. They did this to me.
Yeah.
They did this to me. Well, really what it is your higher self brought them in to help you release what's already been within you. So if we can look at the pain and look at all those uncomfortable feelings that are coming up, that is going to show us our unconscious beliefs that are keeping us in a low frequency and keeping us separated from ourselves. So that means, and this is how they showed me, they said, when you're feeling this negative stuff, you're releasing a layer of dense energy. You're releasing a layer of stuff that you can utilize by looking at and really observing it and letting it go. But what does the human do? It pushes it down and goes shopping, or grabs a 6-pack, or finds a sexual partner, or whatever it is, whatever our habit is, but it's distraction. I don't want to deal with it. So what happens? We add another layer. We stay asleep. If we allow it to come up and we look at it, now we allow that to release and we can bring in more light. So the more layers we can go through, the closer we get to us and the more light that we're bringing back in. And the more that we connect to, it's not even really, we're raising our frequency as we do that. Yeah. So now we're starting to, our gifts are starting to, they've always been there. We can just feel them more. We're more aware of them, but we're more aware of all kinds of things because we don't have all that darkness.
Buffering. Yeah. It's quite funny because
I went totally on a tangent. Sorry.
No. As I said, that's what we say in these episodes. They are guided by spirit, and where spirit wants to take us is where we go. And that some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth when I'm doing the episode, you'll be surprised. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to go down that road, but I did. But it's quite funny. They show it to you in a vessel, and to me, they showed it in as a radio frequency, and the layers are all buffering, and you're trying to buffer to get to the station to be perfectly in tune. And I was like, it's quite funny how they give us this messages so differently. But now I've got a question for you and they keep no, you got to ask her this. I was like, okay. So, as you're going through the layers, what has been your go-to or your advice for when that shit releases to not feel like you're in a negative space? Because you're feeling those you're reliving it in essence.
The more we go through the layers, the more aware we should be what's coming up. And I say that, but I feel like the deeper that I've gone, sometimes you almost feel like you go back asleep again. So I would say, and the thing is, when these things are coming up, you are reliving it. That energy is releasing. You are right back in that place. Yeah. So it's, the human and the mind and the programming and spiritual people out there saying, you can't be negative. BS, you haven't been on an awakening journey then. That is part of the journey, man. Yeah. That's part of enlightenment. If you didn't, I don't know, maybe you had a perfect life and I'm not sure why you would need enlightenment then, but, so we got to quit. I just have this really huge message coming from, and I'm not, Spirit's just like, we got to quit listening to other people and what they say. And we have to be aware of what our mind is trying to tell us. Is it love? And it is an upliftment, and is it encouragement? Because that's our spirit. That's our higher self.
Yeah.
Or is it somebody saying, you're doing it wrong? You shouldn't feel that way. Well, I do. Like this is the divine. If I feel this way, if this is coming up, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Is this for my growth? So I think the hardest thing is when that's coming up is not rolling into it. So we have to somehow be able to recognize, okay, I'm purging right now. Something's releasing. And this is here for my growth. If it's here, no matter what it is here. My higher self brought it, and it's here to help me expand.
That's correct.
So whatever we have to do, whether it's stickies all over the wall or whatever, as a reminder, I'm actually taking note. Maybe I'll do that.
Thanks for that, Spirit. I'll go do
whatever,
stickies.
whatever, just a reminder that to just stop and step back out of the emotions, because emotion is the human.
Yeah.
Feeling, which is totally different than emotion, is spirit. That's our soul. That's through our heart. So when we're in that emotion, and elation obviously would be a higher frequency, but just meaning that if that lower stuff, we just need to recognize, hey, something's coming up. Let me step back out of that and observe what's happening. But there is going to be that time frame where we just got to write it out and let it happen and be nice to ourselves.
Yeah. And the two of us ain't going to sugarcoat it. That shit hurts.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? That's when we have to go, dude, if this hurts, I'm expanding. I'm releasing. I'm bringing in more light. Because the whole thing is, the reason we feel bad is because, right, that energy, whatever it is, light, it's hitting us and it's causing things to release. It's always an opportunity for expansion. So that's a positive thing.
And I know this because I've gone to you several times going, oh my gosh, it hurts, Liz. And you're like, you're growing, you're expanding. I'm like, yeah, dude, but like the shit gets real. It gets real. And we've had those conversations going, shit's getting real over here. Like, why? But the funny thing is, if anyone's watching or listening to it, it never, ever stops. You're always growing, you're always expanding. And would you actually want it to stop? Like, is like another question. Would you want it to stop? And I don't think so. Well, not for me, really.
Right. We definitely want to keep expanding. I think there's probably a point where it's not as intense. They explained to me, they're like, Liz, this is like, you're getting practice. You're practicing, the more you do it, the better you get at it, the more you're going to be aware, and you're like, oh, that's that thing, and I think once we break through certain programs too, we just clear them out. But we got to get to that point where we've actually cleared it out.
That's a good.
And I think part of what you said too is like not having any expectation for our journey. That's the journey. That's the ride, is just going, I don't have expectation. I'm just going to do this in each moment.
Yeah.
Yesterday's gone, and tomorrow isn't here yet. And right now is the only place I have any power. So I got to be here right now. And what the hell's going on with me right now?
Yeah.
Right? What's going on with me right now? Let me not run away from it. Let me be with me.
And I can, honestly, the more you run away from it, the more it actually hurts. Because then it comes, and this is the strange thing, it will come back to bite you like twice as much as if it did and you just sat with it in the first place. Well, that's my experience, and I've learned from that. And part of that was how my hand incident happened, because I didn't listen. Because the warning signs were there from Spirit, and I'm like, nope, not gonna deal with this. And then they put me in a place where I had to. Yeah. I'm just gonna say that, guys, like just a warning, like a warning label.
It's that thing where it starts out with a whisper, and and this is like, I don't know what I was gonna say, but it's they start out gentle.
Yeah.
And we asked for this. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know why I didn't say it. It like went away for a second. We asked for this. We came here. We opted to come in here to do this job of raising the consciousness of the collective. So, yeah, if we don't listen to the gentle whispers because we're too busy or whatever, I mean, we're going to get the 2x4 and we're not going to miss it.
Yeah, that you're definitely not going to miss. But it's quite funny.
You know what's worse than the pain is the numbness, is the not feeling. And the people who haven't awakened and who are not being present with, you know, that's like, it's actually a gift to go like, shit, I'm feeling this. Like, I feel this way. What is this? Feeling is a gift. To not be able to feel, that's really sad. Like, that's like being dead inside. That's worse than being dead. That's like spiritually being dead.
But then, you know, then you also gotta look at it. Is ignorance really bliss?
Not when you've experienced what love and all that really feels like, you know, when you're, I mean, none of us want to go through that pain, but, and I'm only sharing this because I feel like I've almost been in that numbness for a little bit. And I'm not sure why, but I feel like it's more, they're reminding me of like what it is to not know anything that I learned. And when you go through the awakening process and you feel all that love and you feel that connection to, you know, in your heart with you and with the divine and with everything, and then to lose it, like it's really sad. It's horrible. So you know, I would just, obviously nobody's gonna know, you know what I mean, like they don't want to deal with the pain, but you got to go through the pain to really feel the bliss.
This is, I cannot deny any of that. And the only thing I'm going to be open and honest. Let's just be open and honest. For me, the only thing that I say to people, that I love the fact that you're being intuitive, that you want to go on a spiritual journey, but don't feel that you should like be forced to now go into like being clairvoyant or medium or blah, blah, like that, like put a label on it and detour your life because, oh, wait, everyone says I'm intuitive. Now I've got to be this model or fit into this mold. And like, I think that's what's sort of kind of happening in society right now, where people.
Well, I think, you know, a lot, we really have to ask ourselves because for one, you can't force anything. There is no forcing. And the more that you try and force something, the more that you're pushing it away. And a huge part of this, of awakening, and the hugest thing they taught me in the beginning was surrendering. And the human surrendering, let me tell you, physical pain. But it's like, that again is going inside and going, why do I want this? It's like, why do I want to have lots of money? Why do I want to have this career? What is my purpose? Because I think in the end, it's either I want people to think I'm special, I want people to think I'm great, or I just want to feel good. Because when it comes down to it, it's I want to feel good.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, the truth really is this, the journey of awakening is the journey back to you. It's the relationship with you. It's getting to know you. So if we're, you know, and that's a continual thing is developing that relationship with you, because union with our true self, that doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like that's a practice. It takes time, and maybe we'll never do it in this lifetime, and that's okay. We're on our way. What a gift.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just think it's really important that people evaluate, why am I doing this? Am I doing it because other people are doing it? Am I doing it because I think I'm going to get something? Or am I doing it because literally my internal guidance is to do that thing? Because I'm being guided by my higher self to do that.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, if it's not coming from in here, then why do it anyway? Because, but I'm
Right.
sure you've seen it as well. You see this, and it actually, it brings me to tears because I see these people that are highly intuitive and are going down the wrong path as such because they are being shown only one way that it should look, that awakening should be. And they're shown this way, and then that's where it stops. It never progresses past, okay, I can talk to people's loved ones, and that's it. It never goes any further. And that I find really sad, that your growth kind of stops in that way, and like it's shut off.
I think a huge thing is we're only on our journey,
Yeah.
and we should only be paying attention to our journey. Other people get to choose their journey. We're all as divine as any, we're all divine. Every single one of us. The serial killer is divine.
I
They are
love
God.
that.
They are God as much as we are.
Yeah.
Now the human wants to go like, oh, that guy's fucked up. You don't mind if I come to you?
Ah, go for it.
That guy, whatever they want to like.
Yeah.
The humans have this way of like really like they're evil, they're this and that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're definitely of a low vibration. They definitely have a lot of separation from they've got way more separation from their true self than I do. But
Yeah.
you know what? They are God as much as I am. So do I want to judge God, or do I want to send them love that maybe they can start to find themselves? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And do you love that? Like, whoever's listening, in my question, I got a telling off from Spirit through Liz. I'm just saying, you just gotta love that. I got a telling off through Spirit through Liz, and they're like, yeah, stay in your lane, just like don't even worry. But yeah, you gotta love that, eh?
It's the human habit, right? And that's where that is, you know what raising your consciousness is? You know what raising your frequency is? It's becoming more aware of us, not out here.
Yeah.
Our universe is in here. So it's really, and here's the thing, like, how do we know we're not aware if we're not aware? Like, you just don't even know.
How do you know what you know when you don't know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
because you don't, how do you? So, and that's why it's so important, because if we're focusing on somebody else, then we've just left here.
Yeah.
So we really got to be here and just really focused on us. And this is what my higher self taught me through my journey is like, you don't want anybody coming to tell you. And I think a lot of times we share because we're so passionate and we want the best for people. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
But we're like, we got to remember they're divine and they are where they need to be. Even if it looks freaking wacky and crazy, it's like, what the hell? There's a purpose for them being where they are, and they're being guided by spirit just as much as we are.
I know.
So,
and
they were like, you don't want people telling you how to do your journey, Liz.
The funny thing is,
people telling you what you should look like, what you should wear, how you should be. You want to be you. As a matter of fact, that's part of the damn problem, is that as society, we're like, what the hell? What is that guy doing? They should be doing this. She should be doing that. Why did they even say that? They should do whatever. And it's like, who the hell are we to say what anybody else should be doing? We got to stop. We don't want anybody telling us. What I was going to say with that is, I think we all, one of the biggest problems is acceptance. Like, is being our authentic self. That was what started the covering of the soul, is because we were told you can't be that. That's not right. What will society think? Oh, you're not supposed to behave that way, whatever. And so, we just want to be who we are. And it's been so long, we forgot who we are. And
it sometimes feels hard to be who you are. Because you're fighting against it, because you're like, but this is who I truly am. And everyone's like, really? Is that what we're going with? Is that the feel we want to feel? I'm like, yeah, this is me. Like it or lump it.
Right. And I'll tell you, I did that for a minute where I was like, oh, where I had literally everybody in my office against me. And I literally stopped being me because I didn't want to be attacked anymore. And that's denying your soul. Like that literally is soul crushing because you're turning away from you. And then who's got you? Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah. The funny thing is, talking to you, I'm like, oh, the crap that we've been through in this lifetime, all the things that we've had to learn and go through and experience. And I'm like, and all I'm hearing, Spirit's like, it's not done. Oh, it's only,
Right.
and the what I'm hearing, it's only getting started, baby. And I'm like, gee, thanks. In the back of my head, I'm going, gee, thanks.
I think things are really only going to get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the chaos is just a sign of change. It's a sign of evolution. So,
we're going through a massive
remember,
one right now.
all the worst thing, the thing that feels really bad is our perspective on something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whatever
definitely.
we're experiencing it, we choose how we're going to see it.
And choosing how, as you say, nothing is ever bad. It's just, as you say, our perception of it. What do we perceive it to be to us? What's the threat to us, really?
Everything is good. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because if you believe in the divine, really, truly, everything is divine. So if I have something happening in my life, I can see it from the human, it could be, this isn't supposed to be happening. What did I do wrong? Nothing ever works for me, whatever it is, which is just our stories, the beliefs that we've created, right? Which is why we're experiencing that. Or we can see it from the higher perspective and go, this is freaking awesome. Like, so many amazing things are going to come because of this. This is, I know this is here to help me grow. It's really, and it's not like making it up. It's really sitting with your higher self and going, all right, I know you brought this here for me. So what is it about? And seeing it from the divine perspective. And if you don't know how, that's okay. But start to exercise it. Start to recognize that the human's going to down everything and start to practice stepping into that higher aspect of you and going, what is this showing up for? Because I know if it's here, my higher self brought it and it's for me. It's all for me.
Exactly. Nothing's ever against you. Everything is for you. Oh my gosh. And I'm still stuck on the fact that I got an ass kicking from Liz. Like, welcome to my anyone that wanted to know what happens in my life behind the scenes when I'm stuck and I'm like, Liz, I don't know what's going on. That's who gives me an ass kicking, people. Right there. You see it? You see it? I got an ass kicking. Yet again, like, this shit happens. And this is the good thing. Nobody on a spiritual journey, no guru, whatever, is immune to it. We all slip into that lull where we just, like, for a second, we get, the ego catches us and we're like, oh, hang on a minute. It happens to the best of us.
Right. And our true friends, and I don't want to say just true friends, they're people who have the ability, right? Are going to say, I want to remind you, like, check where you at right now. And I didn't mean to do that. I was just literally knowing what was coming through me.
No. As I say, I love that.
But right. Because if I'm doing it, I want somebody obviously to be, somewhat gentle, and I'm not the gentlest of person. I know that. I'm an Aries, so I'm definitely not, but just to be like, hey, I want to remind you where you're at. So I can go, yeah, let me shift. Let me shift right back where I want to be.
Yeah.
Because this is a practice, right? I mean, we've been in that human programming for a long time.
Yeah.
We have to relearn. We have to not even just relearn, it's remembering who we are. And shifting when we come out of it, and shifting back in again when we become aware that we've shifted out of it.
Yeah.
That is the process.
But the thing is, what I will say is, and I love the fact that you do give me an ass kicking, is that when you've gone through this journey so long, it becomes so much quicker. Because the minute I'd said it, within you started talking, I was like, nope, I had slipped. But you become very quicker to realize it. And as you say, the more you practice it, the more it just becomes, oh, yep, correct it quite instantly.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. In the beginning, it takes a lot of time. You get lost in it, right?
You do. And in the beginning, you start questioning every thought and like, am I having the right thought? Is this thought I should be having? Is this, I don't know. And that's why I love my spirit guides for that, because I can actually see and feel them laughing at me. And they're like, I don't know, people. I'm still new to this. I have to think of my thoughts.
I'll tell you, and it's more, I think, because seriously, it can be confusing sometimes where you're like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, what is it? You know, like, and that's literally, we're like, do I do this? Do I do that? And this is what they're telling me right now. When you're doing that, you're definitely in your human. Like, you don't have to question, just freaking stop. Right? Just trust. That's what they're telling me right now. Just trust.
But
We're so freaking analytical, right? We always got to know exactly what's going on and figure everything out. And if we could just go, you know what? I'm giving it to you. I'm just giving it to you, Spirit, because I know you got this, and I don't need to understand it. Certain things we do need to understand, like the negative stuff that's coming up. We have to be able, because that is our teacher. That's our awareness. That's our expansion, right? And we expand through the awareness of who we are and who we're not.
So
When
I don't know,
see who we're not.
I don't know why they're putting me as devil's advocate at the moment. Because they're like, oh, ask this. People need to know this, and I'm like, really? I'm like devil's advocate. I know you talk. We both believe in this. Just trust and surrender, release and let go. But when you've come from this paradigm and this thinking and this program that trust needs to be earned, how the damn hell do you let go and trust?
So that's a different sort of trust. That's like, I mean, for me personally, and maybe it's just where I am, where it's like, okay, do I trust you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's really weird because my twin sister actually asked me that once. And it's like, I don't even go there anymore as to like needing to trust a person, because I don't have any fear. Like, you know, it's like, that's like, do I need, you know, those people that go like, I need to protect myself when I'm doing this reading. Well, that implies that you have fear that something's going to get you. If you're of a certain frequency, you don't need to protect yourself. Like, am I being, I don't feel like I'm explaining this as clear as I need to. It basically implies that there's fear and a need for protection. Now, am I going to just go hand myself over and go and give my wallet to somebody on the street? Or that's like, no. I mean, I'm going to have people in my life that I know that are of a frequency that I want to be around. I'm not going to hang around people and do activities that I know are not honoring me and taking care of me and keeping me in a higher frequency. So yeah, I don't even think about, like, I just know that you're not people that I want in my life. That doesn't mean I'm going to be mean to you. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be saying, you know, I work with all kinds of people.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's people that I have in my life, and anybody who's in my life, I trust. Because if I didn't trust you, you wouldn't be in my life.
And then, you know, the funny, as I say, they're making me play devil's advocate, which I'm like, really? But to answer the question, for me, it's never trust should be earned. If somebody's placed in my life, the way I see it is, it's been divinely guided. So I don't need to trust, because it's there. If it wasn't divinely guided, well, then I wouldn't even know this person, would I?
Right.
So, you know, to anyone that's asking the question about like, how hard is it to trust whatever, whoever it is, whatever it is in your life, it's there for a reason. And it's part of the process, part of the journey.
I think it's different to trust a person per se, as opposed to trusting what's here for us. Because trust is when we're in alignment with our higher self, and doubt is literally the opposite of trust and faith.
Exactly.
That's when and that's the human aspect. You know, we're in our ego and not even believing. I mean, that there really is a divine. It's like the divine is just a concept. And do we believe in the divine? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Do I really believe in the divine?
Yeah.
Because the human really doesn't. I don't care if you go to church every Sunday or whatever it is that you're doing spiritually. The human really doesn't. It's just a concept to the human being.
Yeah, I'm going to totally agree with that. And also, if you do go to churches, synagogues, whatever, the kind of connection with yourself is fully downplayed. So we're not even
Right.
going to go
Well,
there.
I won't even go there.
I was like, we won't even go there.
Because those would be the first people. But yeah, that's like, that actually teaches you to not have that connection, right? You can only connect through somebody else. Right? Because we know to go out is to go out.
Exactly.
In is where we are.
But then you see how we end up in a loop where we like spread, like we're thinking these thoughts, but we shouldn't be thinking these thoughts, because now we're thinking, I can see how some people might find this really confusing. I'm just saying. You could like, unless, because in the beginning it is kind of confusing until you sort of get your head around how it's not that complicated, but your ego makes it seem that way.
Well, I think when we start to get confused, and I'm definitely telling myself this right now, is it's a sign to just stop, because we're in our mind trying to work through something, and the mind is just a program. It's literally like a software program with all of the crap that we've told ourselves and all of the binds and the, that's the little in the box mentality. And so we're never going to get anywhere from there. And that's when, it's real. I think that's actually a sign from spirit going, okay, it's time to go in. It's time to get quiet. It's time to just breathe and let go and allow yourself to be guided. Because I think even the confusion, it's like, we're trying to force a resolution. We're trying to force to understand. It's like, but it's, and we really put a lot of pressure on ourselves, when we're doing that. Like the human really beats up on itself. It's really hard on itself. So yeah, I think we're really putting a lot of pressure and stuff when we do that, but that's when we just need to step back and just go
and be present.
Let me just get present and gentle with myself.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you my burning question. What is your morning routine? I got to ask you what's your morning routine. What's the first thing you do?
I really don't have a routine, just because I don't want to do the same thing every day. And I feel like I'm changing constantly, but I mean, honestly, I get up, I make my bed, I give my dog her water and food. I love you, my dog.
I love you.
Yeah. And, I like to go sit outside. Sometimes I just like to put on like nature music and sit down and just be with myself. But I think the thing that I really am doing now is really to just take care of my stuff. And then I go sit with myself and I'm like, what do you need to do for you this morning? Like, what do you need to do right now? And sometimes it's, it's not writing or journaling or meditating, because I actually find that kind of hard recently.
Okay.
Well, it's either writing or something like that, but it's, just sitting with myself and going, what do you need to do for you right now to connect, to start your day from there?
Start your day. So, okay, I'm just going to say, even Liz's morning routine includes taking care of herself first. And connecting and checking in with yourself. That's my biggest thing. My biggest stress that I have is take the phone and put it down before you start your morning with your phone. Because when you start your morning with the phone, you've just disconnected. Like it's like a downhill battle from there when the phone is the first thing that gets connected with and takes priority over yourself.
It's such a distraction from ourselves. I almost feel like getting to mine for a little while. I can't, but we can. I mean, we can, I wasn't on social media or anything for years. And literally, when you start to become aware of energy and the more sensitive and more sensitive you become, you're looking at stuff and you're taking on and you're feeling those frequencies and those energies. And if you're not aware, right? If you're not aware, you're still doing it. That's what I want everybody to realize right now. Even if you're not aware, you're, intuitive or whatever, or feeling and sensing these energies, you're doing it even if you're not aware you're doing it. And those energies are affecting your frequency, whether you're aware of it or not. So as I told my daughter the other day, watching this show, do we want to brainwash ourselves, or do we want somebody else brainwashing us?
But who wants
We got to be
control?
aware of what we're doing.
Yeah,
We got to be aware of what we're believing. We need to be aware of what we're thinking. Otherwise, this is just running and we have no idea what's going on.
exactly. And you literally picking up your phone the first thing in the morning, I believe, is handing over your sovereignty. You've just handed over, game over. You've handed over your power to somebody else, and from there, the rest of the day, you are fighting to get your sovereignty back, because you're fighting
Right.
distractions and what you read this morning. Because now you're thinking of, oh, I've got to check that one, what that one said, and that one, and you're just basically you're just fighting the rest of the day. And
Yeah.
how
Well, you literally detached.
exactly, and how are you ever going to get back to spirit when you're still trying to fight to get yourself back? You know.
Right.
Anyway, that's just my little rambles, because yeah, it does irritate
No,
me.
I think you literally almost, I mean, I think that the journey of enlightenment really is like, I mean, being a hermit. I mean, you really have to spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
I'm telling myself that right now, because I know the difference when I used to spend way more time with myself. And we have to recognize when we get caught in these habits of really just distracting ourselves from distracting us from us.
Yeah.
You know, the
And
more time we spend with ourselves,
the
the
better.
quicker, not that it matters how fast, but the more we're going to know us and the more we're going to be aware of what's going on.
And
Yeah.
I know, honestly, I can say that it does work, because my husband, it's now 3 years on the dot where he doesn't use his cell phone anymore. Like, heaven help me if I try to catch him when he's out on the road, I have to phone somebody that I know that's with him, because he's like, nope,
Wow.
he doesn't
He
carry it
just
with
doesn't
him.
use it at all.
He's like, unless he knows he has to get a phone call, he doesn't have it with him anymore. It's like, if in the beginning it used to be like on his pocket everywhere and everything, and then he's like, he left it, like put it down, and now he just completely forget it. It can go 4, 5, 6 days before he'll even switch it on to see if there's a message. It's just like, nope, don't need it, don't attach to it, it's just gone. Yeah, I can't say that I've
Awesome.
done it. I'm gonna be hand on heart, I not fully attached to my phone, but like during business hours my phone is on me. But when
Yeah.
it's outside of their parameters, yeah, no, phone switches off. It's gone.
Well, maybe you and I can support each other in that. Maybe take a little. You're like,
Yeah, what?
I'm
gonna
gonna try it because, and
you know,
I'm not on there too much, but I am for work.
yeah,
But it is definitely.
it is a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, people, I got Liz to install Facebook Messenger. I'm not gonna lie. It was the only way for me to talk to him. Like, install Facebook Messenger. Like,
And
it's
the
not
thing
like,
is, we do need to connect. I mean, we
yeah,
do need to connect with people. It's just, I think maybe creating that time so that it's not all the time. And with what are we connecting with? That's the important thing.
and that's a funny thing, because as you say, and that spirit said to me, curate your feed. Select what it is that, and I'm like, thanks guys. And they're like, curate your feed. Social media, not bad if you use it correctly and have only things in there that's empowering you and helping you on this journey. If it's not, get rid of it. And
Right.
if you have to delete the app after you've done your work, then that's it. You delete the app and reinstall it so you don't go on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like a whole. See, we're having like educational lessons here, people. This is how you
Right?
how you protect your
We're
energy
going
as well.
all over the place.
It's
Awesome.
I was like, don't you just love the way this is just going? And I'm like, okay, so now we're over here on how to manage your mornings and things like that. As I said, this is how it goes. We started with twin flames. We got into a whole lot of other stuff. Now we're in morning routines. Welcome to my world,
You know,
people. This is my life.
And here's the thing. I mean, what it all comes down to, the huge thing that everything that we've talked about is listening to ourselves, is learning to listen to ourselves. You know, that was what the twin flame relationship was about. It was awakening, which awakening is realizing your spirit and connecting to your spirit. Right. So all of that, you know, even like we were saying, people are on their journeys, people are doing this, people are doing that. It's all about whatever they got to do for them, connecting
And
with themselves,
yeah, and
listening to themselves.
and there is no as much as we may want it, or others may want it, there is no checkbox list. They
Right.
just they never will be, because that's just not how that's not the contract that we signed coming into this. That
Right.
is
And
not.
that wouldn't be very fun either. You know what I mean?
I'll just be
You
like,
don't, if that would not help you with your intuition, right?
no.
Because that's part of the learning, right?
I'm just sorry. I'm gonna say, you know how you went like that with your hand right now? As you're saying that, I'm like, why am I seeing a little birdie? I'm like, I could see this bird over your face, and then you went swat. I'm like, what do you swat the bird for?
It's I have these little fruit flies because of my trees.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they're little gnats.
But the funny thing is, I didn't see a
like
fruit
a bird in there, huh?
No. As in a spiritual bird is what I saw.
Oh, really?
I saw a spiritual blue bird, and then as I'm seeing this, you go, whoop, and I'm like, well, okay, that's just crazy and funny. Yes, there was a spirit bird on like over you, and I was like, huh. And then your hand just went. I was like, oh, that's fun.
That is interesting.
I don't know what it was doing there, what it was there, but
You're
as
like,
you're speaking, I'm like, what the? Exactly. I'm like, we're busy having a chat. What? Who's this? Like, what do you want? And then you're like, please go. I was like, okay.
Did the bird have a message, or?
I don't know. And that's what, when you swapped, I figured you had sensed it, and you were like, okay, not now.
I don't have time right now, bird.
Exactly. That's what I figured you would just, and that's what I was like, that's weird. And that's what I had to say. I was like, okay, maybe you just shoot it away because you're like, thanks for the message. Bye now. I don't know. Like,
oh my God, that's funny.
I can just tell you there was a blue bird, and it's really cute because it almost looked like a cartoon type bird. Like, not like a little cartoony one. I don't know. And it's not
Weird,
I'm not getting any answers when I'm like, what was that about? They're like, nope, you just had to deliver the message of the bird. So I'm delivering the message of the bird. So yeah. And
I'll sit with it later.
And that's the thing also. That just shows you also a little bit about intuition. Sometimes we just get hits and we don't know any more about. And that's all that it has to be. It doesn't need to be anything more than just that it was. Because to you, it will come up as something later. But to me, I've just got, that's the image. And I'm not getting anything past that.
Right. A lot of times intuition is just, we don't even realize it's intuition. It's just we're naturally being led, which is our intuition.
Yeah. I know, crazy. So, see, like, I didn't even know what we were talking about before the bird. It's like, what was the story before the bird? Ah, Spirit, you crack me up sometimes. You crack me up. I was like, oh, that's just funny. You know what the crazy thing is? Oh, that's what I was like. Oh, thank you, Spirit, because now you reminded me. I was actually going to ask you, because this is, see, full disclosure, real life. In my life, I say I have two husbands. I have my physical human husband, and then I've got my spirit husband, because my spirit guide, I talk to him the same amount as I talk to my husband. You know, there is no difference. What's your nice way? What's your relationship like? What does a relationship to you look like with your spirit guides?
So my spirit guides would be more my ancestors. So it's more of a team. And they're not, I don't know, it's just so subtle that like, and I don't talk as much, I think, because I'm so busy with work and things. So I just feel like my intuition and the guidance is just, it's so much more, it's very subtle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sometimes it isn't, like when I was going through this awakening with my twin, very like, you can't miss it. Yeah. So, and maybe that's a reminder to me that maybe I need to be, and maybe I'm just not in the place where I feel like I need to ask them all the time. You know what I mean? You know, but when they want me to know something, they let me know. You know what I mean? Whether it's, you know, something in my third eye that they'll tell me, you know, I get a visual, I hear, and then I get telepathic messages as well. So I would say I'm not really reliant on them. you know, and then there could be that part of us that's like, well, maybe you should talk to them more.
But you
Maybe
know
you
what?
should be doing this.
And you know, the funny
But
thing
maybe
is,
it's okay that I don't. Maybe
that's
they, you know,
there we go. That's literally, it's the contrast. Neither,
right.
and
And
this
they're
is why
kind
they're
of showing
doing
me
it.
that right now.
Exactly. This is why they're doing
Because
it.
I'm like, hey, you guys, if you're still with me, freaking tell me something right now.
And they, but this is
And
the funny thing.
they're like, we're not, like, what do you want us to tell
Like,
you? Like, they don't.
and they're like, what do you mean? Like,
well, and now it's like, what they're letting me know, I feel like right now is, Liz, if we need to tell you something, we're going to tell you.
yeah.
But we don't need to be, you know, it's not all the time. This is about, you know, there's a time and space for like having your guides back. And I'm not saying this for everybody. I'm saying this personally for me. There's a time and a space where like your higher self is, you know, literally where, I mean, when I was going through this awakening, it was like my human and my higher self, and my human would be like, oh shit, like I'm freaking losing it. I like, this is really scary and I'm freaking out right now. And then my higher self would be like, you're learning about energy right now. And I'm like, oh, you know, and so it was literally like teaching my human self, like, this is actually what's taking place. And so then I understood. But if we keep doing that, that means we haven't grown, right? So it's like pretty soon you move into you are your higher self and you are your human self. So which one are you going to align with? And it's, you know, maybe not as loud as it used to be. And maybe you're not hearing it the same as you used to, right? Because you've evolved. It isn't going to be the same. And maybe you're not, you know, talking to your guides as much, or maybe it seems like it's harder, but maybe it's just because you don't need to. Maybe there's something else you need to be learning. And I don't mean need as in need to, but that's why it's happening, is you're learning something else and they want to make sure that you're able to learn that.
Did you see what, like, I'm like, did you see the flying thing over here now? Like, what, like Liz, like what?
You know what's really weird when you did that? I actually got a text message that came in right when you did that. And I could see it drop in. Anyway, that's funny. Something's really weird going on. Like, you're picking up on some interesting stuff, man.
I'm like, this is the crazy world that we live. But to answer, like, to going, as I say, I'm playing like the third, like, devil's app, and I kind of feel like I'm in a three-way interview. Like, there's me, and then there's the other person asking the questions. It's kind of feel, but like,
awesome.
And you know, as with the spirit guide question, for me, the reason why I talk to spirit guides that much, I'm a chatty person. So while I'm like in the zone, I'm having a conversation. I'm having a good old time, like saying, hey, hi yourself, what do you think about this? And let's tweak this or what, because I'm in like the work zone, busy doing stuff. So that's why I speak to my guides that often. But it's not it's more like kind of like girlfriends getting together and just chatting. That's right. What I do.
Well, and that's your personality too.
Yeah.
That's it's your uniqueness. It is who you are. You know what I mean? So, and that's why I say, like, none of us can look at somebody and say, you should be doing this, or this is it. We're individual. What's going to work for me and the way that I do it and the way that I am does not mean that's what it's going to be for you or anybody else. And honestly, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
I'm me. You're you. They're them. And once I think we can start to accept that, like, I'm going to let them be them, because they can't bring their flavor of who they really are to this universe unless they connect with them.
Exactly.
So if you're trying to be somebody else, you're not going to bring what you, because, and this is something else that my guides are really my ancestors, my family of life.
Yeah.
Which I never would have guessed until I actually asked. I would have never even thought that, but they told me, because I got this from what's his name, Deepak.
Yeah, Deepak Chopra,
or whatever his name is. He said this thing of, you know, we all came here to share a gift, and I'm like, yeah, what is my gift? What is my gift? And as I was meditating one day, my guides were like, Liz, you didn't come here to share a gift. You are the gift.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
You're the gift. So we can't share the gift that we are until we are authentically ourselves.
Ourselves. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put like on both Liz and my thing of spirit guides. I'm gonna put a caveat. You should never be afraid to talk to your spirit guides. Should never be a time where you're like, oh, I don't know if I should talk to them. Like, if you're doing that, you're in your head. So
Well, and not
that's
only
the only thing I'm
that,
gonna say. Yeah.
you're in fear mode, and fear
Yeah.
is shutting out all of the divine. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
it's disbelief. It's, I mean, fear literally is shutting off. And when you're in that state, you even block out the divine from working in your life
Yeah.
because you're actually not believing in it.
No, because
Fear is the absence of love.
Yep.
It's a low vibration. But also, sorry, I freaking just go on and on. I apologize.
That's okay.
Fear,
Go for it.
the thing is, and fear, here's another thing. When we realize I'm afraid right now, like, and I'm actually shutting off my divine self from working in my life. But fear also is a sign where you are holding yourself in binds, where you are keeping yourself small. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I afraid of right now? Oh, cool. Because now I know exactly what I need to move past. You just showed me where I've been keeping myself small, fear. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Spirit, for helping me move right past this. Because I'm walking right past this fear and beyond it, breaking boundaries.
Exactly. And, fears, I just use fear as a little, just like a wake up call going, oh, I need to check that. Thank you for showing me. Exactly saying like, oh, thank you for showing me. Bye. Next. But
right.
Yeah, we're not even talking about fear. Fear's just like, nope. Anyway, I was like before, because the two of us can chat for like hours and hours and hours, which is fun.
If you get a message from that bird, you let me know. Like if it
you
comes to you later, I want to hear.
One, it may come to you. It may be like, oh, Liz, and you'll be like, Cindy, that bird. It was actually my.
Right.
Why would it be? I'm like, can't just assume it's me. It could be Liz. It could be, or it could be somebody else completely just popping in to say hi and wanted to join the conversation.
Yeah, totally.
Stranger things have happened. Okay, so lasting words, Liz. Lasting words to go by. And then besides everybody checking you up on Instagram and your jewelry. Lasting words from you, Liz. What do you want to leave everyone with?
All of the answers that you need are within you.
Amen. Amen to that one.
Go in. It's all in here.
It's all in here.